Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and today I am so excited. This is one of my dear friends. We've known each other for several years in the industry. I'm super freaking pumped. I'm going to actually be at his event next year in September. Little teaser. Stay tuned. He's got an amazing event he does every year in September. I have Dr. Len Tau. He is one of my faves. He is better known as an authority in the dental consulting world, reputation marketing, and a practice growth. He's recognized by Dentistry Today as a top dental consultant for 8 straight years. He is the author of Raving Patients and 100 plus tips to 100 5-star reviews in 100 days. Like, this man knows how to do it. He's one of my faves. We really do collaborate on so many fun things. After 20 plus years in clinical practice, he now helps dentists nationwide increase revenue, case acceptance, and visibility. He leads the dental vision at Birdeye, hosts the Raving Patients podcast, and runs the Supercharge Your Dental Practice Conference, which is the one I was alluding to that we're going to be at next year in September, empowering practices to thrive in today's competitive landscape. He's truly one of my faves. And today we're going to dig into like, how do you get online reviews? But Len, welcome. I'm so happy to have you on the podcast. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Of course. And this just came about because Len, let's just do a little teaser. You are prepping full steam ahead right now for your event that's coming up in September in Florida. I love the last time you and I were on the podcast, we talked about you in clinical dentistry, and then we reconnected after some time and you left the chair, you're living your best life, and you full blown gone into the event space. So just I know we're going to get into online reviews and how AI is changing that. And it's going to be just a really, really fun episode today. But tell us a little bit how is it going from full-blown dentist in the chair to now full-blown events, running these awesome events that we're super excited to be a part? Just kind of give me a little insight to that.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. It's been very different, obviously. For 23 years, I practiced dentistry. For about 12 of those, 13 of those, it was full-time. And then I went part-time in 2017 until I sold and retired in 2022. But one of the things I've grew up on in dentistry was going to dental events. Mm-hmm. And the big, the ones, the small ones, all over the country. And as a dentist first, and then as a vendor since 2013 or 14. So a long time in the space. And, one of the things that really hit me was that the events are not really put on very well. They're not. Right. If you're a dentist, there's issues. When you're a vendor, there's issues. And I said, you know what? I want to change the game. And one of my goals when I retired from dentistry was to start putting on events. So in 2023, in September, we did an event in Delray, had 208 dentists there, 33 sponsors. It was first day was business, second day was first day was marketing, second day was business, had a 13, 14 speakers. It went off better than I could ever imagined. I then moved it last year in 2024 to Scottsdale. And we were at the Scott Resort and Spa, which is a beautiful hotel, and event was good. It wasn't great. Definitely moving to a different coast. I felt there was not as much, engagement, excitement about the event. So my family and my wife and I decided, hey, we're going to do this. Let's have people come down to me. I live in beautiful, part of Florida. We're having this year's event, and the next 3 of them at Pier 66, a brand new hotel in Fort Lauderdale. It's literally a half hour from my house, 5 miles from the airport, easy to get to. So this year event is September 26th and 27th. Mm-hmm. We've got 14 speakers, a mixture of business and marketing. So we've got people talking about social media, about content. We have people talking about saving money on taxes. We're talking about how to become a fee-for-service practice. So a lot of different great content and top speakers, Steve Rasner, Paul Goodman, Jeff Buski, Rich Maddow. So some real heavy hitters, and then some people who people haven't really heard of, Melanie Diesel, who's new in the dental industry. So, but I like to do it differently, and my events are very high end. You come, you're going to see things you probably have never seen before. I give a ton of time to the vendors, so the vendors love me because I make sure that they get integration or interaction with the attendees. Sure. So you're going to be speaking in 2026. Same weekend. It's September 25th and 26th in 2026. Same hotel, Pier 66. So we're ramping things up right now. We're literally a month out from the event. I still have people signing up. I still have people wanting to reach out as sponsors. And it's this is the fun time for me because when I'm done, I get a couple of months of break and then I start promoting 2027 again. So it's been a good time. I really enjoy it, and I find that I've kind of created something that's very different, and the attendees really enjoy it and the vendors really enjoy it. So if I can make everybody happy, that's all I'm looking to do here.
Ah, and Len, I hope the audience, if they can't see it, they can hear it. I think it's so fun because I mean, I've seen you in different spaces in your career, in your life, and there is just this like giddy, like younger version of Len that I feel is emerging of like it's that giddy boyhood like excitement of I'm excited to put these on, I'm excited to do these events, and it just makes me so happy for you. And what I think I'm hearing is yes, attendees are happy, vendors are happy, but I also hear that Len is very happy, and to do something in dentistry is just very, very fun. It's very exciting. And so we're jazzed. I'm really excited. I love good events. I love great time. I love to help. I love business, marketing. Everybody can take that. That's not Kiera's jam. That's why I wanted to bring you on. You guys are very good at marketing. You're very good at that space. But to talk about how to help people have their best lives, to grow the practices that they want to grow. I think you and I are so synergistic in that. So we're super excited. And I'm not going to highlight the fact that there were a couple of sixes in that. It's September 26th at Pier 66. You guys hopefully I like the alliteration. Don't put anything weird on it, guys, but I do appreciate that you made it easier. September 6th and 9's flipped upside down are a 6. Hopefully everybody can remember September 26th, Pier 66. It'll be a good time in 2026. I mean, we got 4 Len, so we're okay. We've at least got 4 6s, we didn't end on 3. But I really hope and exciting stuff. We'll make sure we put some info for people for this year and for next year. I think it'll be a fun time. Dental team will be there, so come hang out with us. Len, I'm super excited. I will not spoil secrets, but a lot of the things he told me for the events, I will say he does put his heart and soul into it. So Len, excited about that. Thank you for sharing. Good luck for this year. We're going to be rooting you on this year and next year. And now let's pivot. Let's go into your jam. You're in Birdeye, you're in marketing, you're on online reviews. AI has come into the scene. Practices are changing. I also will say, I hope everybody listens to you of their succession story. You hung up the handpiece, but you are still full steam ahead in dentistry. And so I hope people see that there is no path to dentistry. It's a beautiful world that you're in. So let's talk though, online reviews, AI, how is this working? How do we make sure that practices are still being visible? ChatGPT is on the prowl. There are clients signing up with us now that have found us on ChatGPT, which is so random. It's changing up how people have been doing things. Walk me through, what are you seeing with these online reviews, the importance, how to bring AI in? Let's just kind of go in a rift on how practices can still be visible with AIs, just showing up to the scene.
So I want to talk about ChatGPT for a second. I refer to it as my best friend. It helps me edit.
I've got to just
No, I haven't named it yet.
I haven't
named it.
Me and ChatGPT, I had to name, and now her name is Wanda. I don't know why. I don't even know where Wanda came, but people are like, Kiera, you hanging out with Wanda again? Because I agree. They're our best friends. So go on, Len. I can't wait to hear what you name your ChatGPT because mine is currently Wanda.
I'll have to name it now. I'll have to think of something. But no, I started using it. I'm like, this is really helpful, and it's only gotten better. And just to give you an idea is my wife and I and my son just graduated high school. He's literally just started his freshman year at University of Florida on a free ride. Smart ass kid. I'm very proud of him. But and I travel a ton, but I travel a ton for business. And I made a commitment. And I think I told you that during the summer when he was going away for school, I was not going to travel. So from March to literally next week, the beginning of September, I haven't traveled at all for business. Awesome. And but we did plan some really great travel for our personal lives. And one of the things we did was we had a 17-day cruise to Europe. And when I decided I did not want to do the excursions to the cruise because they're really expensive and you're with all these people, I preferred to kind of just go and tour myself. So I used ChatGPT in every city. And I said, I'm going to the city. This is when I'm going to get in. This is the cruise I'm going on. It got the cruise itinerary. And I said, I want to set up private tours in every city with different people. And it helped me pick the best tour guides. They referred me to a website called Tours by Local, which is an amazing website that you can meet people who are local that will take you around and show you the city. And it was amazing. It was amazing. So I thank ChatGPT for doing that because I wouldn't have known about half these things if I didn't do it. And in fact, one of the women in actually the very first place we went to, which was in Split, Croatia, which was beautiful. I told her that literally that's kind of how I went down this road was I asked ChatGPT, what should I do in Split? And they said, you need to use this tour guide. She's the highest rated tour guide and has the best reviews on Tours by Local. I'm like, what's Tours by Local? And that started this whole thing. So she was amazed to hear that. So I have been using ChatGPT for a long time, like I said, and even now it is people I know type in, get me to the best dentist in the area, and it's very much based on reviews. So
Yes.
you have to be a highly rated practice. You may not believe in reviews, and if you do, I think you're not smart. But if you want to be at the forefront of where people are looking, you have to generate reviews in a significant amount. Velocity now, which is how often you're getting them, is one of the biggest ranking factors on Google, whether you want to believe ChatGPT or not. But you have to get reviews. You can't rest on your laurels and say, well, I have enough, because you never have enough. Okay.
Agreed.
And you got to let Google rank you high. And there's been a big discrepancy in the industry, I don't want to say a misunderstanding, and I've been in the review space now since 2013, so 12 years. And in the past, dentists thought that if they get reviews, they're going to rank. And that's not the way it is anymore. If you have reviews but don't pay attention to the other ranking factors, you actually don't rank well. And that's a problem. So ChatGPT AI is so important, but you still got to dominate Google. You still got to get to the top of the pages. And that's really where the direction is going. And if you aren't there now and you are ignoring it, you're never going to get there. So I would love to talk to you about, or at least instruct or educate the listeners and viewers of these ranking factors that they need to pay attention to, or they're going to be left behind when it comes to ranking on Google.
Absolutely. And I'm excited for this too, because I did notice that you've got to AI is just crawling the web. That's where it's being taught. It crawls it, it looks through it, all of it. And so agreed with you. I have a lot of clients and we want the secret pill of marketing. And I'm like, get your reviews up. It is constant and consistent that if you get those reviews up and you bring pieces to the table, that people literally that's what's going to rank you higher. So I'm excited, Len, to dig in deeper, because it is how getting more reviews, but to hear that there's more beyond just the reviews really can help these offices get the best bang for their buck, help more practices. And I'm it used to be when I first started consulting, Len, I used to tell offices, get to 100 Google reviews. It is now, I'm pushing people 500, 600, 700 reviews that you need to be getting ranked into. And I don't know if you're seeing a cutoff line or if it matters on that. So I'm really excited to dive into what are the rankings? What are the pieces? Is there a difference? But I'm now 100 reviews. When I look at somebody, I'm if there's another dental practice that has maybe 400, 500 new clients come on, the first thing I do is I go look them up to see how many reviews do you have. And I'm shocked at how many dental practices actually are not showing up when I Google their names. And they're like, no, Kiera, we're here. And I'm but if I'm a prospective new client that doesn't work in your practice and I don't see you all the time, and I just try to find you and I'm looking for you, how many patients who are not looking for you are not finding you as well? So yeah, take us away, Len. I'm super curious, very intrigued by this. It's fascinating. And I'm also say, because AI is new, I feel people got a reset slate. Hey, you can actually get back into the game if you haven't been into the game, if you just start playing now. If you don't, I agree with you. I do think that you will unfortunately get obliterated without trying if you don't get into the game now.
100% so, and I couldn't agree with you more. So the best thing to do here is, if you're listening to this, I want you to go to a Google search and I want you to type your practice name in. Okay, so that's the first thing to do.
Office. Don't do it in your office. Go somewhere else. Try it somewhere else.
Right. Well, and 100%. That's another thing, is that if you're going to look up your ranking specifically, you do not want to do that from your office location. Okay, because you're not going to get real results. You also want to go into incognito mode or private browsing mode on your phone or your computer if you're doing that to check ranking. But this is not specifically about ranking. This is more about how you appear online. So go to Google and type in your practice name, not your name unless it's the name of the practice, but your business name. Okay, and it doesn't have to be what's registered with the the state board. It's when you answer the phone, what you say. Okay. Pennsylvania Center for Dental Excellence was my practice name. Okay. So you want to look yourself up. So these are some of the ranking factors that Google looks at. Obviously, one of them is your total number of reviews you have. Definitely a ranking factor, but the total number has not been as important as some other factors as well. So average number of reviews in the industry right now is about 350. It used to be 100 was the golden number. Now 350 is the average in the industry. So you have to, are you average, are you below average, or you're above average? Okay. That's something to look at. The second ranking factor, which is even more important, is the velocity of reviews. So how many reviews, how often you're getting them. Okay. So if you're getting once every 2 weeks, not enough. If you're getting them once every week, not enough. You don't need them every single day, but 2 or 3 every single week is ideal. Okay. Because you think 2 or 3 every week gives you 8 to 15 a month times 12 months is 100 reviews a year, which is a nice number. Okay. So you have to have that velocity. Important. All right. Third ranking factor is the total score, your average number of stars. So I would like you to be anywhere from 4.6 to 5 stars. Okay. I don't think you have to be only 5 stars. I think there's a negativity related to that if you're only 5-star reviews, but I also don't want you to below 4.5. Okay. And if you're at 4.3, 4.2, or even 4.1, another bad review or two, and you're going to be in the 3s, and that's really where you don't want to go, because you lose a huge percentage of patients who may come in if you're less than 4 stars. Okay. Another ranking factor is the primary category. So how do you know your primary category? If you look under your Google, your name, it will say right where the stars is, it will say hopefully dentist in your town, or dentist in your county, or dentist in your city. Okay. So your primary category should be dentist, because we're a dental practice. Okay. If you're an oral surgeon, you may want it to be oral and maxillofacial surgeon. If you're an endodontist, you want it to say endodontist. You don't want it to say dentist if you're a specialist. Okay. That's a big ranking factor. And I'll give you an example. So my wife had some plastic surgery over the last couple of years, and we were referred to that doctor. So we didn't need to search for him. We were referred to him. We went in, we liked him, we used his services. And of course, being a plastic surgeon, I talked to him about reviews. He now uses Birdeye, but he had me speak at an event that he holds down here in Boca Raton. And I talked about this exactly. And I asked everybody, because it was a small group, what is your primary category? And he said to me, literally, he says, I'm listed as a nurse practitioner. He wasn't listed as a plastic surgeon. He was listed as a nurse practitioner. So his categories were all messed up. So when you actually typed in plastic surgeon near me, he never showed up because his category was wrong. So primary category is a very important ranking factor as well. Now, you also have to make sure your secondary categories are also are there, as well as under the proper categories. So secondary categories, if you're a dentist, dental clinic, teeth whitening services, denture care center, orthodontist, if you're doing aligners. If you're doing endo, you're doing root canals, you can have endodontist. If you do perio, you can do periodontist. You want to make sure you have 9 secondary categories. Okay. If you don't have them, you want to add them. Now, how do you add them? It's very easy. You go to Google using ChatGPT or anything and say, how do I add secondary categories to my Google business listing? Okay. It will tell you exactly like a recipe how to do it. You need to add those secondary categories. All right. And if you want help doing it, you can always reach out to me. The last ranking factor, which is really important, is making sure that the practice's name, address, and phone number is consistent. Okay. So just to be clear, most website companies do not do local SEO. They do website SEO, which is making sure the website is SEO'd so the website ranks higher on the organic rankings. We're talking about getting the Google business page ranking higher, which the website companies are not focused on. So when it comes to the name, address, and phone number, is it consistent? You have to be consistent. And this is a Google requirement. It is not a patient thing. It's not a me thing or you thing. It's a Google requirement that this data is consistent. So the name is obviously important. So if you have the and or the ampersand, you may find things inconsistent. When it comes to the address, if you have South State Street, Unit 510, you can have South or S, you can have Street or ST, and then you can have Suite, Unit, Number, or STE. All these variations need to be consistent. So one of them has to be done and stuck with. And then if you are using a tracking number for whatever reason on your Google business listing, you may find you're inconsistent there as well. So when you make everything consistent and you get a higher velocity of reviews, guess what happens over time? You rank higher on the maps. And when you rank higher on the maps, you get more visible for patients to find you. So that's where the secret sauce is. And not that this is a sales pitch about Birdeye, but that's exactly what Birdeye does. Birdeye does those. We check all those boxes for you. And what ends up happening is practices get more reviews. But more importantly, when they ask patients how they find them, they're going to see that they found them because of their ranking online and the reviews drove them to the practice. So that's how this whole thing plays a role in getting a practice more visible and credible.
Wow. So I was over here like taking a lot of notes, which I really loved. I love the number, the 350 at the average, the velocity, like 3 to 5 per week. You were saying it doesn't need to be an every day, but I do agree, like them consistently coming through. The total score, the 4.6 to 5, primary category, secondary category, making sure we have 9. And then you were talking about like the practice name, phone number, all of that has to be consistent. So the addresses have to be the same. And that's going to help you rank higher. Did I miss anything? Those are my notes, Len. And I'm just curious, like, did I catch them all? Because that was a lot of pieces to consider. And then I have some follow-ups as well. So like, did I miss anything in that list?
I think you got it all there. So.
Okay. So hopefully it was a good recap for everybody. If you were listening, I tried to like summarize everything he said, because I really feel that those are super valuable pieces to know. Now, Len, there's a couple of things that happen, and I'm very curious of what you've seen. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. It's just a riff for me, genuinely curious over here. Does it impact for the business to respond to the reviews? Because I know there was like a big misnomer out there, like for a while, like you have to respond to every single review that helps you rank higher. What's kind of the lay of the land right now of responding to the reviews that come in?
So there's been a big push over the years to respond to reviews. And there's also been those naysayers who don't want you to respond to reviews. Mm-hmm. So I want to make this very clear. When you respond to a review and you acknowledge them as a patient, you are technically violating HIPAA. Okay? Now, by the letter of the law, if you do that, you violated HIPAA and can be in trouble. Now, in all the years I've been doing this, I've only seen one example of a positive review being responded to and the dentist got in trouble. Okay? So if someone writes a review for you and it's 5 stars and you say, thank you so much for your feedback, we're glad you had a great experience in our practice. Okay? You technically violated HIPAA there because you acknowledged that they came into the practice. I don't think you'll ever run into any problems with that. I've never seen any instance when a practice has gotten into trouble. But again, by the letter of the law, it's a violation. Okay. Here's where the person ran into a problem. Okay. So the review in question, the patient wrote, I'm so happy with my appearance after I went to so-and-so's dental office. I think they were in Texas. The dentist responded, we're so happy thank you so much for your review. We're so happy that you loved our magic needles. Okay. Oops. So from what I understand is the patient had Botox or dermal fillers placed, and that's what they called their magic needles. Mm-hmm. So the patient wrote a letter to the practice saying, I didn't appreciate you letting the world know that I had Botox done, right, and asked for the review response to be taken down, which the dentist immediately did. Took it down and apologized. But it really pissed the patient off, and the patient sued the dentist and won. Okay? Because the dentist went out of their way to, release private information that wasn't supposed to be done. Mm-hmm. So in that case, you shouldn't be doing that. Okay? Now, on the same note, I would be very careful responding to a review that's left by a negative review that's written by a patient. I would be very careful responding publicly to that because it's very hard to respond without violating HIPAA. So a simple response like, we're sorry to hear about your experience. Please contact the office to discuss the concerns, as we're unfortunately unable to comment due to HIPAA release privacy stuff. That's fine. But again, I'm just not sure it's the best thing to do. Mm-hmm. So you have to be careful with negative reviews. What it doesn't do is we really haven't found any relationship between responding and ranking.
Interesting.
Okay. So I always leave it up to the people to respond. I like using AI to respond as well, because I think it comes up with HIPAA compliant and really good responses. But you have to decide what you want to do for your own practice.
That's actually really helpful to know. Okay. Good feedback for people to ponder and decide what they want to do on. The second piece is some people lose their Google My Business and they're not able to be found. And I don't know if you have reasons why. I don't know if it's from like a name change or it's inconsistent. So like a lot of offices have a lot of reviews, but when you go to search them, they're hidden on Google My Business. Like it will show up on the person's side, but nobody externally can find it. Do you have any ideas of like what causes that or what offices can do if they're struggling with that?
So I want to clarify that what question you asked there. I'm sorry to ask a question when you asked the
Hey, that's
question
okay.
was when you say that, you're saying that when they search for their Google business listing, they can't find it, or when someone is searching for the office, they're not visible on the maps.
So when they're searching, so if I just go into Google and I type in like my perfect smile, the website might link, but the Google My Business with all, and they might have like 150 Google reviews. Like it might be like they've got them all. And the office can see it when they like log in as like, this is, you own this, but they've lost it and it's no longer visible publicly. Do you know what causes that or how they can get that back? It's okay if you don't. I'm just genuinely curious because I know some offices struggle with this, especially with like name changes of practices, going through different ownerships. Some of them have told me it's like when I changed the name of my practice, it no longer showed up. Like we have all these reviews, but we're not showing up. Do you know what causes that or how practices can get back being visible?
Now that you asked it that way, so that usually means that your Google business listing has been suspended. And if you can't find it on search, but you see it, it means it's suspended in most cases. Name changes, address changes, other things you do can cause it to be suspended. If you look up use ChatGPT and say why can your Google business page be suspended, there is a list of different reasons why it can get suspended. If you're getting reviews the wrong way is a big one. So like you should not be incentivizing for reviews. And I'm talking about incentivizing the patients. You shouldn't be getting reviews in your physical office space because there's IP address conflicts and location services on the patient's phone. So if you're doing that, not only will you can potentially lose reviews, but you can get it suspended. But you can look on ChatGPT or Google and just say, what are the reasons that your business page can be suspended? And they're there. So usually you have to reapprove it or re-verify that page. And there's certain things you do. You'll have to take a video of yourself in front of the practice, showing the address, showing the name of the business on the door. So there's things you will have to do to get it over to Google. So they'll re-verify you. And then once that happens, there's a good chance they'll unsuspend the listing. But that happens for that reason.
Gotcha. Okay. That's super helpful because I know a few offices have struggled with that. So I was just curious for that. All right. This has been so helpful to figure out rankings. It's been helpful to understand. My last question as we wrap up today on reviews has been so helpful, Len, is how do offices go about, like, what are your recommendations? Yes, Birdeye, Swell, Podium, like there's a lot of review in Weave. I usually recommend using an external one outside of things. I think that if that's what they do, they're going to be experts at it. But how can offices ethically and appropriately, like obviously great patient experience, but how do they increase these Google reviews? What are some of the best tactics you've seen to help these offices out?
So being biased, I mean, I'm a true believer in Birdeye because we help with the reviews and the ranking part. Swell, which is a great product. I know the guys at Swell really well. A lot of their doctors don't rank well because they don't focus on the listings part of it or the ranking part of it. I'm not a fan of Weave from a review perspective because they Swell, Birdeye, and Podium make it very easy. Weave doesn't. It's just the way we do it with our 3 other products. So I always say this: you can get reviews any way you want. Okay, the most effective is going to be use some software. Simple as that. Okay, but it all starts with the practice, and it all starts with I like to create a reputation culture in the practice, which means that every time a patient comes in the practice, that they're going to be evaluating you and reviewing you potentially. And you've got to be on your best behavior. You've got to put a happy smile on your face. You got to treat them like they're the king of the world. Okay. You got to roll out the red carpet. And if you don't do that, they may write a bad review. Okay. But if you don't create that reputation culture, I think it's going to be hard to get the practice to really accelerate the reviews. So creating the reputation culture using great verbiage skills. I love calling it feedback, not a review. If you call it a review, it sounds like you're begging for it. The feedback conversation is much more comfortable to have. So, it's an interesting situation, but if you don't ask, you don't get. So you've got to ask. I think if you ask and you combine it with a really good software, you'll get a really good number of reviews. If you don't ask, you don't get. It's that simple.
Yeah. Oh, Len, that was so great. I appreciate this so much. And it's fun to hear about how AI is helping. It's fun to hear about how you still have to be great on Google. So I just appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the knowledge you've shared. I appreciate for offices, I hope they take action. And Len, any last thoughts, how people can connect with you if they want more help on this? I know, like truly, in my opinion, this is the simplest marketing. Everybody wants the like sexy magic pill of marketing. And I'm like, no, it's like really great experience. Ask for the reviews, ask for the feedback, like rank so that way people can find you. I've had offices that had like 3, 4, 5 new patients, and they're like, I need this marketing. I need all these things, which I'm not here to say not to do it. But I will say great reviews will boost you very quickly. So Len, any last thoughts you've got, how people can connect with you? Because it's been truly just an incredible episode today.
So I'm around the country a lot, so you can always connect with me in person if I'm at some of these events. If you want to come to Supercharge, you can connect me there, superchargeyourdentalpractice.com. You can use the code RAVING to save $100 on registration.
Awesome.
We also have some scholarships available, so if you do want to come, you can reach out to me personally. So my cell phone's all over the internet. The easiest way, if you have any questions, you want advice, you want help, I'm the guy to reach out to. My phone number is 215-292-2100. And my best email is Len, L-E-N, at drlentau.com, which is drlentau.com. And you can email me, you can text me, you can call me, tell me you heard about me here and you need some advice. I'm more than happy to offer it to you. I do it all the time. I love when people reach out to me because they know I'm an expert. So I do it kind of as a favor to people. But no, you reach out to me, I'm happy to give advice.
Amazing. Len, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I'm super excited for Supercharge 2025 and especially 2026. So everybody snag that. And truly, I hope you take action from today's podcast. This is easy ways for you to boost your marketing, be found and seen online. And Len, thank you for joining me today. I truly, truly appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, Kiera. I appreciate it.
Of course. And for all of you listening, thank you for listening. And I'll catch you next time on the Dental A Team podcast.